Prof,
Yes.
your committee,
Yes.
talking about the Akwa Ibom post-COVID reconstruction committee, made that recommendation. Open Forum had a town hall meeting. We made that recommendation. But what do you think is the problem with Akwa Ibom State, as gifted as we are, with leaders that have been given accolades?
Yes.
What is wrong that having a long-term plan to do away with political slogans that have been used just for hyping?
Yes. See, in fairness, there is a misunderstanding about what plan is and what it's supposed to do. But also, to be more concrete, the present governor,
Yes,
Pastor Dr. Moino, has brought the idea of having a development plan.
Beautiful.
And I'm aware that process is on.
Awesome.
Okay. The idea is to fast track it. I'm aware that process is on.
That's good.
At least a 5-year development plan. Because if we have that, you will know what comes to your area.
That's
what
right.
comes to my area in the next 5 years at least. And then you follow it. You make allowance for, let me use the word disruption, because the world is dynamic. Things will change.
Yes.
But as I said earlier, every country that has grown remarkably, leapfrogged, they follow a plan.
Talking about plan.
So once you have that plan,
Yes.
MTEF disappears.
Naturally, it should, because it's just a ritual that holds no water.
They don't even follow it. If you look at the MTEF, because MTEF says, for example, if you have MTEF 26 to 28,
yes,
the capital component for this year should derive from the previous one. When you compare,
it doesn't.
It doesn't
Yes.
tally.
And talking about plan, you are, what I call it, technical committee. Yes, it was. The post-COVID economic reconstruction committee came out with a report, about 100 and something page.
142 pages.
142 page report.
Yes.
And that a committee was set up to come out with a white paper, which was also done, which means that it has become a plan.
Yeah.
You know more than any other person should. As a layman and being informed, we've not seen the implementation. You may correct me, but if there was implementation to an extent, or if there was no implementation, what do you think happened to the work of your committee?
Well, let me say this. The committee was in two phases. The first committee was a 20-member committee that came out with a 142-page report with recommendations and had short-term, medium-term, long-term plan for the state, aspirations. And then later, the then governor, also put in place what he called implementation committee.
Yes.
I was also the chairman of that committee. We now selected some key areas that need to be implemented. Unfortunately, when he left government, in my view, none was implemented at that time. Okay, but for some reason, the present government of Pastor Dr. Umoino, some of the elements of our report, are now part of the Arise agenda. Whether it's by default or not, I don't know. But again, Umoino the governor was part and parcel of that COVID committee.
Okay.
He came in and made presentation. So some aspects, as I said, for example, now they are now involved in putting in place a development plan, which came out of our recommendation. And the whole idea of the health system, for example, which we recommended, some aspects have been put in place. Agric is seen as a major sector because in our state here, we can industrialize through agric, not necessarily through manufacturing.
That's right.
For example, we have cassava all over the place. We can have a starch industry. So in that report, we then said, long term, this state must diversify its economy. We can't depend on federal allocation because federal allocation also depends on the oil revenue.
Yes.
And oil revenue is not sustainable in the long term.
That's right.
Because the price of oil you have no control over. The output, no control, is OPEC. So you cannot depend on what we call an exogenous source of revenue. So if the government gets the revenue and then they share, it will not work. So for the state to get out of being a civil service state, we can industrialize through agric. It doesn't mean that we ignore manufacturing,
That's
but
right.
agric will be the main source, because the whole place is full of agric products. In fact, in our report, we took each agric item, crop, and showed what is the problem, how we can
Solve it.
solve it, and so on and so forth. Each, including local crops. So, and I think the present government, for what I've been reading,
Yes.
they're taking agric serious. But, agric has also a gestation period. Maybe going forward, we'll see some positive results. But for now, we just have to wait. So the report, to a large extent, has not been implemented up to, say, 60%. Okay?
Oh, that would have been wonderful. Even
Yes.
cross, I was thinking of maybe 10% of it.
So either by default, because Pastor Manuel's government has been, for example, the MRO at the airport.
Yes.
It's in our report. It's been
Worked on.
The issue of the health system.
Yes.
It's been worked on. All of these things, we will look at the impact later on, whether it has given us positive results. Okay, because see, a lot of times in governance, what you have is propaganda, and government is very powerful to push propaganda.
That's a bad one.
They will talk about the issue of mindset in our report. Mindset. We have to change our mindset.
That's right.
In the state. In fact, it's what one governor, I think, Akwa Semen, called structural mental adjustment.
That's correct.
We had that. If you don't change the mindset, nothing will move. Okay. Then the state has to have strategic industries. For example, Governor Atta started the ICT park,
Yes.
the science park. All governments have been ignoring that park. In fact, although Emmanuel tried to revive it, then COVID came and it stopped. So, and I think Pastor Mano has a different approach, but we need to do it, because when I saw what was going on in Anambra, I was taken aback, because this state has been at the forefront of it for a long time.